Hello and welcome to the Digital Perspectives episode 7. I'm 𝒕𝒉𝒏𝒏𝒐𝒗𝒂𝒕𝒆. This program is all about exploring your digital trends, strategies, and transformation insights to help your business build a brand and monetize it today. Today, I'm very excited and have a very special guest and a thought leader, Dr. 𝒊𝒏𝒏𝒐𝒗𝒂𝒕𝒆. So we will get onto it, but before we welcome two things very quickly. One, if you have missed the past episodes, just go to our Digital Perspectives YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button so you would be the first one to get notified and you won't miss any future episodes. And I understand you might be watching this from different channels, including Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and number of Instagram and number of channels. So if you're watching this right now, give us a thumbs up, comment, or share this post. And I hope this will give you a bit of inspiration in the time of crisis to think differently. And one of the things which we have been asked by a community member at this time is, Praveen, how do we really innovate, and thrive in the time of crisis like this? And that's what Dr. 𝒊𝒏𝒏𝒐𝒗𝒂𝒕𝒆 will cover today. A little bit about Billy. Billy is passionate about helping health practitioners and service professionals to grow and sustain their profitable business. So let me have him on the show. Great to have you today, Billy.
Hi, Prabham. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Oh, wow. It reminds me, the time goes so quickly, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. I remember that our first meeting was we met each other at a networking function, I think like a breakfast thing many years ago in Adelaide. And then we had multiple coffee catch-ups where we, spoke about, things, and we bounced ideas off each other. Yeah. So
totally,
it's been a good journey. Yeah.
Totally. And obviously it's about 10 years it's been now. I was thinking last night while thinking, look, and obviously you have inspired, I follow you very much in your LinkedIn, and very inspired with some of the leadership role you have done in last few years, and obviously strong governments in healthcare industry, including, you have still you are the National Board in Chiropractic Association of Australia, and Australian Spinal Research Foundation. Yeah.
Yes,
so would that be okay, Billy, if you share a little bit about your journey, especially as being a multiple practice owners clinics till now, to our viewers and listeners who are watching this right now, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so my journey has been, I've been a chiropractor for now like 22 years, I think, or 21, 22 years. I'm no longer in practice, but back in the day, I did have multiple practices, lots of different staff. Along the journey, I knew that I wanted to do something else, and obviously I loved taking care of people and having my own businesses, but I also wanted to sort of step up and try and sort of have a leadership role. So for 7 years, I was on the national as a national director for the Chiro Association of Australia, where I ran the public education committee. And then most recently, I am also a board member for the Australian Spinal Research Foundation. And that foundation does research specifically for chiropractors. Even though we're based in Australia, we actually do global research. And then also more recently, I've dived into helping service providers and chiropractors and health practitioners like physiotherapists and dentists, help them sort of navigate through business strategies and helping them grow their businesses.
Wow. I very much, especially, the buying and selling and managing all these practices for 19 years. And obviously along the journey, serving the patients as well as involving. This is very much full on, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. But it's, I think they always say, what do they say, Prabham? Like that, you give a busy person something to do because they'll get it done. And that's something that I kind of, that fell into my life. I didn't try and find that. I mean, it was, we've got 3 kids. They're obviously, some of them a lot older now, but certainly, going through the journey with kids and family, like it's certainly a busy life. And so, I wake up in the morning and just kind of want to get out and do things. Yeah.
You bet. And one thing I'm also curious, especially when these days I'm dealing and talking with a lot of entrepreneurs and healthcare professionals who manage a lot of multiple practice. You got to have a passion, isn't it? What do you think
Yeah, a
in the game?
passion and also systems. I
Mm,
think that, that it's, especially when you're dealing with multiple sites and multiple team members and having to manage them,
mm,
it's virtually like, from experience and certainly from trial and error, it's certainly hard. It's hard and almost impossible to be successful if you don't have good systems. You can't have one rule for one place and another set of rules, another set of systems. They have to be across the board. And I think especially what you guys do, and us talking about innovation and thriving with technology, I think that technology has certainly made an impact that's made it easier. You're like, if you have things in the cloud that, that every practice and every business, every site can manage
yes.
and access,
Mhm.
things like, messenger things and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff makes a big difference. Yeah.
Absolutely. Process systems is a
Mm.
key part in managing
Yeah.
the business,
Yeah.
especially now everything is going on the cloud, everything is happening,
Mm.
and a lot of technology is coming up. So couldn't
Yeah.
agree more, mate. Now, those viewers who are watching this right now, if you are just tuning in, I'm with Dr. 𝒊𝒏𝒏𝒐𝗄, and talking about who is passionate about the grow and scale the service professional as well as healthcare business. And if you like this, just give us a thumbs up or comment it, or feel free to share this post. Now let's go to a little bit deeper, if that's okay, Billy.
Sure. Yeah.
You mentioned obviously managing the practice here and involving on the boards, and obviously now in last few years you've been helping entrepreneurs and professionals on healthcare business, including medical, dental, and allied health practitioners. So how they are, what they need to do, a couple of things. Those viewers who are watching, what are the things they can do to sustain their business during the COVID and post-COVID crisis, right?
Okay. Well, that's a big topic. We could spend hours talking about this, but I think the one thing, the buzzword, Prabham, that you've probably heard of during this time of COVID and the pandemic, and that is pivot. Like, we've probably heard that buzzword where people have talked about how your business and, in order for you to survive during this time, you have to pivot. And even though that's important, I think that's a good word to use. I think that if you look at the definition of pivot, and that is that you're changing course. And when it comes to health practitioners and certainly health service-based professionals, it doesn't have to be a health practitioner. It could be it could be an accountant, or it could be a mortgage broker. For a lot of you, a lot of those professionals, they can't just like change their business. They can't go, oh, I'm now doing something different. So I think that the pivot needs to be more looked at as, how do I actually change what I'm doing so I can actually tap into unmet needs from my customers, and also what are the opportunities that I can actually start to develop in order to serve my ideal clients and my target market better. And so I think that there's obviously, as we all know, there's no discounting the fact that this pandemic is horrible, and that it's not only here but globally. It's really changed the way we've done things, and it's been a terrible situation to be in. The silver lining, I think, for many business owners is to use this as an opportunity to actually start to develop and almost like start to reinvent some of those things that they should have been doing anyway. So one example is, as a business owner, we should always communicate, and we should always be in touch with our clients, whether they be our current clients, whether they be clients that have used our services previously and no longer in our practices, or current clients, or our long-term databases. We should always be in communication with them. We should always see how we can actually serve them or re-engage with them. And I think that, with this whole situation, not only being sort of in lockdown and being online, this is a great opportunity for business owners to actually start to be more, engaging with their current clients, seeing how, they can offer support and care. And especially, during this time where people are uncertain, we always say that, people that are uncertain, that are stressed, who feel overwhelmed, who are confused, and there's so much of that going on in the world at the moment, they don't make great decisions, or they choose not to make decisions because they become paralyzed. And so I think for business owners, if they can provide information for their customers and their clients that helps them be less confused, allow them to be more certain, and certainly provide them understanding about how they can help them and how they can actually help them be better through this journey, they're going to make better decisions. And certainly when it comes to healthcare, they'll make better decisions for their health. Does that make sense?
Spot on, mate. I
Yeah.
could, Yeah, interesting. You say that communication is a key because uh, obviously this is unprecedented time and no one have
Mm,
thought about it. But the key here is communicating, whether that may be with the patients or with your team members,
yeah.
whoever it might be. It is a key. So and I totally agree. I mean, because there are so many tools these days.
Mm,
Whether that may be just giving a simple call as a trust call, or that might be
yeah.
just sending the emails or
Yeah.
SMS, just
Yeah.
keeping them on a loop. It's very
Yeah.
important, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. And there's one thing which I think it's really important to for business owners
Yes.
is that, and it's probably less now. Although having said that, we're still going through the crisis. But certainly when the whole country was in lockdown and we had really really tough laws on isolation in all states, and people weren't necessarily allowed to go out. That what happened was that that a lot of people thought that their business was going to go under, and they started to lose hope. And one of the things I kept telling people, and that is that your patients, your clients, they haven't lost hope in you. They still obviously value your services. They've lost hope in the fact that they're confused and they're worried, and they're worried whether that if they go out they're gonna catch coronavirus, or they're going to be they're going to be in a situation where they're a danger to their family. And so that's really really important. And so as business owners, it's a great time to really connect with your clients and let them know, number one, that you care, you're there to support them, that you're doing whatever you can to be safe. Whether it be sanitizing and cleaning, making sure that you have social distancing strategies, and implementing that in your practice or in your businesses, but just letting them know that you're here for them, and you understand and you empathize with the fact that they might be a bit confused about what's going on, but you're here for them. And that's like if only businesses did that, they'll find that they'll actually garner and regain a lot of relational capital back into their business. And when things start to open again, when things start to go back to normal, they'll get these people come back because they haven't lost hope in
True.
their business. They just lost hope in the environment and the situation they're in. Yeah.
Mm, yeah, that's
Yeah.
again
Mm.
the perspectives, isn't it? The way
Yeah.
how you think about.
Mm.
A great point. They haven't lost the hope on you
Yeah.
or on the practice. That's a great point, mate.
Mm.
And especially someone like you, because obviously you've been this healthcare business for more than 19 years, almost 20
Mm.
years. So which also means almost two G. One is in 1992, that was a big crisis, and
Yes.
obviously
Yeah.
so much in unemployment, and then we had a GFC. So
Mm.
someone would have survived that far in about 20-25 years. Then definitely there's a bit of resilience there.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Mm.
with every crisis that happens historically, that it almost like kind of catalyzes opportunities for things to change.
Okay.
So if you look at how things have changed with the Great Depression, and obviously all the different sort of stock market crashes and the GFC recession, um, the unfortunate aspect also provides some kind of uplifting to people to actually start to make improvements. And so going back to innovation and pivoting, so
Yes.
looking at sort of moving forward, the unmet needs and opportunities.
Mm.
We as health practitioners, we were always like, one of the biggest gaps was how do we take care of people remotely? Like, not everyone, and especially because there's an aging population in Australia. Like, not all aging people can get to their appointments, whether it's to go to a physiotherapist or a chiropractor or even the GP. And so the technology has always been there, but this pandemic has opened up sort of like and sped and catalyzed the innovation for that to happen. And even at the most basic situation, where even if you don't have all the cameras and all the technology, you can easily just call your patients and let them know, look, that what's happening, like, what are you suffering from, what's going on, especially current clients. Maybe you have to start to implement different strategies for new clients, but your current client base, if they can't get to your appointment, like, give them a call and let them know that you're still there. Have a phone conversation, and if you're a physiotherapist, you can easily prescribe certain things. I mean, obviously, people, like, another thing is that with healthcare, I mean, with AI and with those things,
Mm.
certain elements of healthcare will be replaced by AI, like things like radiology and all that kind of stuff, and even oncology. A lot of that kind of stuff is starting to become more AI. But for the better, I think, because obviously they're able to pick up more things faster. But generally, healthcare, even in the future, people still need to go see someone. Like, we're never going to ever be in a situation where we can totally be remote. But I think that we can, as health practitioners and as health businesses, we can certainly provide a better service and more value to our clients, and even expand our client base. Like, if you're now open to the fact that you're happy to see people remotely, then that opens up your ability to see more people, which is better for your bottom line as well. And also, I was talking to a colleague of mine, and she was talking about how there are now more businesses that are starting to innovate to get people to do more. Like, GPs have always done home visits, but for allied health. So for allied health, chiropractors, physiotherapists, podiatrists, all that kind of stuff, to actually do remote and also home visits. And when you think about, I think, before with this interview, we were having that chat, Prabham, that there's a new norm. So even though, down the track, we're going to be in a better situation with the virus, and hopefully it all goes away. But it's now a new norm. We're still going to have these social distancing things happen. We're still going to be wary of how to be healthier, and if we feel unwell, if we have the sniffles and that kind of stuff, to maybe not go out to the public and all that kind of stuff, stay at home. But it's going to still, the new norm is that people will still maybe want to be more remote, that they may not want to sort of always go out. So having the options to take care of clients, to provide service for clients, both at the spectrum of new clients and also along their journey, it's going to make a huge difference to health practitioners that really invest in the time, the money, and also the resources to do that.
Totally, Billy. I mean, obviously you touched about telehealth and mobile, people talking about a digital mobile health, or that might be AI, machine learning. What I'm hearing from you is, I love your perspectives, thinking about being open, isn't it? Being flexible or being adaptive is a key, because things are changing, as you're saying. I mean, obviously, if you have an existing patient, there's already a trust built in. So it's very easy. Either you give a call, send an email, whatever the forms of communication. But if we are really tapping that new prospects or new clients or new patients, then the whole experience, they want a different. So idea of being open, being a flexible or being adaptive is a key. That's what I'm hearing. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yes. Right. It's the adaptation is so important, and also it's being contemporary with the way you think as well. So, like it's we can't stay in our bubble and our kind of like our little test tube of it's always worked this way, and we'll keep doing that. And so I always tell people that regardless of how small a business you are, it doesn't matter whether you're just a one-person practitioner or you are a big, multi-practice, multi-business. You have different departments. Like, if you look at Apple, you look at IBM, you look at, Ford Motor Company, they have the marketing department, they have the sales department, they have the human resources department, the R&D department. And it's no different to small businesses. It's just that we often forget that and neglect it, because for most small businesses, people have to wear multiple hats. But if we actually start to look at our client journey, and we start to sort of go, okay, we have this department. It could be the lead generation and marketing department. And then we have this department, which is like the onboarding of new clients and the processing. And then we have this department, which is relationship building and retention. And then we have a look at how we can actually make sure all those departments are working properly. Because for most small businesses, all we look at is the metric of revenue. So, like if we see that 1 month we collected this much money, and then the next month we collected more, and then the next month we collect more, everything's fine. We're happy. But then if there's a month that starts to drop, and then the next month it drops again, then we start to go, oh gosh, like there's something's wrong. Something's wrong. We need to put more money into getting more leads. We need to get more money into advertising. We need to get more money in that, because we need more new patients or more new clients. But it could actually be the fact that you're not converting them. It could be that you're getting a great, like people are using your business problem and getting a whole lot of new clients. Absolutely. but they're not converting them into care. Or it could be that they're getting new clients, they're converting them, but they have a leaky bucket. So at the back with retention, there's no communication, there's no constant engagement, there's no value adding or providing them with like a reason for them to continue using your services or to refer people. So there's a lot of things we can actually do to look at big businesses and how they structure their business and be contemporary with how we do small business.
Love it. I mean, couldn't agree more. And that's what I think we should, as a small business, if some of you guys are watching this right now, then as a small business, what is the one thing we can take from or learn from big businesses? Always never stop marketing or never stop communicating with your clients or your patients, because the whole idea here is to add value, isn't it? Because again, as a small business, putting the small business hat, sometimes we create leads, and for 5 months we don't do anything. We just sit down and say, look, we are busy, and then all of a sudden, we thought, oh, there's nothing coming on, there's no cash coming on. Let's pump it up in marketing, or let's attract or add value. So that doesn't really go for a long run. So what you're saying is add value in a time, always, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
That's
absolutely.
Now, I'm conscious with the time today. Obviously, love to go more deeper here, right? So, as a thought leader, obviously, a lot of things we're talking about. AI. We're talking about digital, mobile health. We're talking about machine learning. A lot of things are coming in next, and as we just discussing just before, 5 years has now almost covered up in the last 5 months, and things are changing. So as a thought leader in a healthcare business, talk to me about the challenging, how it's challenging and changing the digital perspectives within the healthcare industry, and how you, some of the examples, if you pass to share with our viewers, that would be great.
Yeah. Well, first of all, who would have thought that if someone could tell me to go and buy Zoom stocks, I would have bought Zoom stocks. So all these platforms like Zoom and Skype, and even on your mobile, your smartphone, all those things have started to change the way we actually can communicate with our clients, not just our current clients, but certainly new clients as well. And I think that, once again, going back to our conversation before about the new normal, that last year in 2019, if you started talking to telling other health practitioners about that you could possibly outside of telehealth, obviously we already knew that there was telehealth, but that you could easily go on your phone or Zoom or do a group workshop or start to educate people on your computer, they would say, I can see how that can work, but it doesn't actually I don't see it that important to me at the moment. But if you fast track even just now, 6 months, it's people now, it's the new norm. So if a client called up and they wanted to see you, and I was a physiotherapist, and I told them that yes, you can definitely organize an appointment to come see me, but what I do prior to you coming in is I would love to see if we can actually organize a time for you can actually do a Zoom call or even a Skype call. And the reason for that is it actually provides me more benefit and you benefit, so we can actually see if I can help you, whether you're a good fit for us, also answer any questions you might have, and then also to see whether you're a good fit for us. So when you do come in, we can actually fast track your processing. In 2019, a lot of people will say, no, that's not going to happen. But the new normal is that most people will probably go, yeah, that sounds okay, because now it's the new normal. So I think that the technology and innovation with when it comes to the health business, it's fast tracked us now, this new normal where it's okay and people understand that this is what we can actually do to make it more efficient. And it's actually value add. If my doctor said that he was going to jump on a call with me and be like this, can you imagine if I called up someone out of the blue to organize an appointment, and then he or she wants to actually organize a call for we can have a chat. And then let's just say, for example, it could be that, my shoulder, it's over here, and and then we build rapport. So we're actually fast tracking the rapport building. It's also fast tracking that if you're my prospective client, You're now building more trust in me. And that's just going to make it easier for when we actually start to, have that journey as a client, a doctor. Yeah.
Totally, mate.
Yeah.
Totally. So again, patient's experience, keeping patients in the forefront. That's the key. Whatever you do, that's a great insight, Billy. Thank you so much. Now, anything you want to add before we wrap up this quick chat for today?
No. Thank you very much for having me. And if any of your viewers want some information or have any questions about what we spoke about, I think you've got my email. They can just email me a question, and I'll be more than happy to help them and answer them. Yeah.
Beauty. So let's quickly, if you're watching this right now and you want to know a little bit about how Billy can help in consulting or any helping your practices, just email to Billy at blackdiamondclub.com.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Billy, for your time. I hope all the viewers watching this right now, you would have enjoyed. And what you're saying is innovation is a big part of how we look at digital advantage in your business. And obviously in future episodes, we will talk about how to innovate, automate, and accelerate in your brand, and then you can monetize it. So stay tuned, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next episode on Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Stay safe.